Hi guys, this is DJ Slope from Slope's Game Room, and today we're going to be looking at Disney's 11th animated classic, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. The final one of Disney's packaged movies. First shown on October 5th, 1949. So here we are with The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, the final packaged movie, and thank God. This film consists of two smaller segments rolled into one. So let's get straight to it. Firstly, we look at Wind in the Willows. And as a big Disney fan, I'm really sad to say that this is not the best version of Wind in the Willows. Obviously it's been done loads and loads of times, but my favourite version of Wind in the Willows is by Cosgrove Hall and the 52 episodes that it spawned afterwards. But anyway, the story of Wind in the Willows is adapted by Kenneth Graham, and the film is set in London in 1908. It's here that we get introduced to Mr. Toad and find out that he's going bankrupt. We find out the reason he's going bankrupt is because of his non-caring type hobbies that he has, better known as mania hobbies, one of which is driving recklessly. Now like I said, it's 1908, so when he's driving recklessly, he's doing it by horse and carriage, and he literally causes damage to everything he sees. His friends and advisors McBadger, Ratty and Moley all try and convince him to stop doing this, but Toad doesn't listen, and it's not long before he sees a motor car and he becomes all entranced. He obviously ends up smashing that up and gets put on house arrest. There's this whole court scene in the film that breaks out, and we find out in this scene that Mr. Toad has in fact stolen the motor car due to his mania hobby. Am I the only one that thinks this is pretty weird, serious stuff for a Disney movie? Anyway, Mr. Toad ends up getting sentenced to 20 years and he goes off to London Bridge Prison. It's not long after he ends up escaping. He ends up going back to his property, Mr. Toad Hall, and it's believed by all of his friends that he is a new man. Now, if court dates, rehabilitation and prison sentences don't really sound like your sort of Disney movie, I don't blame you. For me, no matter how many cute animals you slap in a Disney movie, for me, I feel like it was a bit of a bad choice on Disney's part to turn this sort of film into a Disney animated classic. For me, it just doesn't work. And anyway, like I said, I prefer this version. So, moving on to the second short in the final packaged movie, Ichabod Crane. This is basically the legend of Sleepy Hollow. So if the first movie didn't really feel that Disney urge, I'm guessing a retelling of one of the most popular horror stories of all time isn't going to do it either. Actually, you're going to be surprised to hear that Ichabod Crane is very fondly remembered by Disney fans. It's quite good. So like I said, it's a retelling of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. We've seen the story 1,000 times before, but so far of all the retellings of this famous book, I find that Ichabod Crane is in fact my favourite. The story goes like this. It's October 1790 and Ichabod Crane has arrived at Sleepy Hollow. It's a town known for its many ghostly hauntings, and Ichabod Crane becomes the new head teacher. The story's quite weird. It takes a few twists and turns. You have all the women in the village falling in love with Ichabod Crane. He ends up falling in love with the 18-year-old girl who ends up being the daughter of the richest man in the village. And he ends up getting bullied. It's all very strange. He even plans on stealing money from the richest man in the village. It's quite a weird Disney story. Anyway, the bit we're all waiting for, Ichabod Crane comes into contact with the Headless Horseman. You don't really get to see what happens, and all that's left of Ichabod Crane is his hat. The end. Like I said, this version of Sleepy Hollow is fondly remembered, and for good reason. It has a great following, and for me the only gripe is that they didn't make it into a full-length movie. I would have loved them to scrap that Toad Hall nonsense and make this the full-length movie. I think it would have been a lot more known if this was the case. But anyway, it is what it is. So with my review of the final Disney package movie all over and done with, it's time to look at the games. No games. I'm sorry guys, but this is actually the final Disney movie in this whole list with no games attached to it whatsoever. It's clear sailing from here on out. Sorry. Hey guys, thanks for watching my review. If you wanted to see my last one or the next one, click the links that you see here. If you like what you saw, then please rate, comment, favourite and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll see you all next time.